All right, only 3 Mondays left in the regular season. That is crazy, Tyvis.
It goes fast.
It is on to UCLA. We're going to talk a lot of quarterbacks in this segment here, and we're going to start with Julian Sayin. I thought he looked good in that first half against Purdue. I think in the second half, he'd probably like to have some throws back. So let's start there. What were your initial takeaways from what he did in the Boilermaker country?
I think the Heisman's getting to him. I think it is.
Oh.
It's crazy to say. I don't want to say that, but I think that he's out there forcing things a little more. Like the throw on the interception, like everybody knows football one-on-one, never to throw over the middle of the field late. And he made that mistake. And I remember, if I remember correctly, earlier in the year, he did that same thing. I want to say maybe it was OU or something like that where he forced a bad pass. He threw it late, and it was an interception. Might have been the first game of the season now that I think about it, or Grambling. Something early. I can't remember when. Anyways, he is forcing things, trying to run those touchdown numbers up, and I think it's starting to affect his play a little bit. And I think when you look at Max Clare, he missed Max Clare in the back of the end zone, and he just overshot it because he was just so anxious to score those touchdowns. The yards is there. He's getting 300 yards a game, but that touchdown number is not going up. What? Am I wrong?
I think I disagree with you, and I'll say this. I don't think he cares about the Heisman. I mean, you think I'm wrong.
These kids are not naive.
Okay, yes.
Social media is a thing. You see things. You start to read things about yourself. It happens.
You want me to listen? I believe that he probably, knows that, hey, I'm a front runner for the Heisman. That's crazy. I've only played 9 games. But you want me to believe that he's standing back there, he's dropping back, he sees Max Clare, and his first thought is, boy, this will look really good to all those Heisman guys. And so he overthrows
Maybe not the Max Clare, but the interception?
You think the interception, he's thinking, I got to get this touchdown.
How many times, Adam, do you think he scrolled around in practice and they said, don't throw that ball over the middle of the field? Since he was probably yay high, they said, don't throw that ball over the middle of the field. He threw the ball late over the – I don't even play quarterback, and I know you're not supposed to do that.
I will say it's very interesting. Ryan Day this past week before the Purdue game in the press conference, he said that when Julian came back from California, he had this thing where he was rolling out to his right, then throwing across his body as hard as he could, and he said, don't ever do that again in the Woody. And it was very similar.
Well, he didn't do it in the Woody.
But with that said, I don't think he's worried about the Heisman. I think, one, it happens in college, in any football. You start feeling yourself. You're feeling good. You think you can make magic happen, which he has many times made magic happen and made amazing throws.
Fair.
And so I think he probably forced that one. I think uncharacteristic was the word that I thought of in the second half. The first half looked very much like Julian.
How many times this season has he been uncharacteristic to you?
The second half of Purdue was pretty much it. And you think that's the
I rest my case.
Why can't he have
I rest my case. How many weeks has he been the Heisman front runner?
This is the guy.
This has only been 2, right?
This is
or
the guy
one that last week.
You didn't even think he was in the Heisman.
I rest my case.
You wanted Ty Simpson to win the Heisman.
I didn't say that. I said that I thought that he was playing good football.
Yes. Okay. All right.
At that time, Ty Simpson was playing good football.
Okay. So
he still is, by the way.
How can Julian Sayin learn from that? What do you want to see number 10 take away from that with 3 weeks to go?
Just run the offense. I mean, your guys are going to be out there. Your players are better than everybody else's. Just get the guys the ball. They're going to be open for the most part. You're doing a really good job of anticipating where they're going to be. He's throwing a nice deep ball. Just continue to do that. I don't think you have to go out there and force anything. The numbers are going to come because Ryan Day and Brian Hartline has called a phenomenal game plan this entire season. They put you in a situation where they allowed you to make that throw. Just trust yourself. I promise you, when you look up at the end of the game, you're going to have 300 yards and you're going to have 3 touchdowns. That's just what it's going to be. So I don't think you necessarily need to worry about trying to force the play or try to have that Heisman moment. I think it'll naturally just happen.
Do you think that this offense slowly starts to ramp things up here in the UCLA game? Because the one thing, my favorite quote from Ryan Day of all last week, although I love the David and Goliath quote with the little things, that was great. But he said, when we're ready to go on offense, we're going to go. We're gonna kick it into high gear, which I think every Buckeye fan just said giddy up at that point. All right, we're ready.
I think we see that, though.
Okay, so you do. But, I mean.
We've been seeing it. Penn State second half, giddy up.
Yes, that's true. That's a valid point. But
even in the first half of Purdue, it was kind of like that a little bit.
Let me ask you this, and tell me if this is stupid.
If that Bo Jackson thing never happened, they really would have took off.
The first play of the game.
Exactly.
was a stupid block in the back, by the way.
But it was a block in the back.
Okay, and it happened in the NFL too. This is not just touching someone in the back is not a block in the back.
There's this thing called sell it. You got to sell it.
What?
I
can't remember what play I was watching.
You watch the NBA. They sell it all the time.
Know. I mean, they're just like, oh, excuse me.
It's exactly how when quarterbacks run to the sideline and somebody just taps them and they just, like that's exactly what just happened on that block in the back. And it
We're
worked.
looking at you, Patrick Mahomes.
It worked.
Okay. The one worry I have with this offense in the kicking it into high gear, and you play defense, you can tell me if this is incredibly stupid. The one thing about this Buckeye defense is they've had a lot of time to rest all season long in between series.
Okay.
Typically, when you think of a defense not getting any rest, you think of an offense that's gone 3 and out, interception, whatever.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yes, I'm sure you have. And
very, very frustrating, by the way.
And it's probably incredibly exhausting.
It is.
Yeah. And
you start to really look at that offensive side of the ball like, come on now.
What about an offense that starts scoring and moving so efficiently? Because right now we're seeing an Ohio State team that is just controlling the time of possession, 14, 15 play drives.
Yeah.
If they flip this switch
and score quickly,
is there a worry that the defense, at no point this season has the defense ever felt like it's been on the field too much.
Right.
And so maybe the second half of Illinois, but is there a worry that like, oh, this is not a stamina game that we've played all year?
Shockingly, that would not be the concern at all. Because from a defensive mind, I'm going to tell you, it's a difference between they just went 3 and out, we got to go back out there. They just went 3 and out, we got to go back out there. Like, that's not fun. It starts to creep into the mind, like, this offense is not any good. You start doubting yourself, now you start letting things go. When the offense is scoring, it is so motivating to try to go out there and force 3 and outs and get the ball back because you're excited. Like you're directing points. If we stop them, our offense is going to score. So now we're technically putting points on the board. So now we want to see how far we could go. You know how I know this is a thing? 59-0 against Wisconsin.
Oh, that's
and the Big Ten championship. That's exactly what happened. We went out there as a defense and Cardell was cooking that day.
Yeah.
He found something. Him and Devin Smith was on an all-time heater, and so was Zeke. As a defense, we they going to keep scoring. Well, let's go keep getting the ball back. We kept getting 3 and outs. We got some interceptions, got forced fumbles. It was one of those situations. So I think for a defense, if your offense is scoring, it's the most motivating thing that can happen to a defense because if we get the ball back or get a stop, our offense is going to put points up.
Wow.
You like that?
Yeah, that was but that's what I'm thinking is that
it includes my TED Talk.
Yeah, that's a good point because that was my only concern. And it's just it's a reality. Whether you're a fit college athlete, been in the NFL, if all season you've gotten a nice 10 minutes, 12 minutes in between drives, I was worried that it might take a toll. But that Wisconsin game was, you guys were on the field the whole time.
Yeah, rolling.
Cardell's just throwing to the end zone and walking back to the sideline. All right, that makes me feel better there. Little things. We talk about little things. Ryan said David versus Goliath. It was the pebble that got Goliath. Take me through the little things with this Ohio State team. What worries you that could be their pebble? Well,
we talked about it. The penalties. I think penalties is one of the things that can creep up when you get in big games. Like obviously against Purdue, it didn't matter that Jeremiah had a block in the back and that play came back. It didn't matter. But let's say you're playing Alabama and you need that touchdown to stay on the board. You can't have a penalty make you bring back or take points off the board. And I think that's something that creeps up. As the season goes on, your body doesn't move the same. You get a little lazy on certain things. You're not as quick as you usually are. So now you get a little handsy and grabby, and that's when those penalties start to come in. So I think they have to fight that. They cannot let these penalties creep up offensively or defensively because now they get another opportunity. You get a big stop on 3rd and 10, but then you get defensive holding or illegal hands to the face or something like that, and it gives them a fresh set of downs. Now you're out there for a long time, and if you're going up against a really good team, they're going to capitalize off of those things. So penalties has always been a thing for me.
All right. Nico Iamaleava comes back to the shoe. We're still looking for that cracked helmet. I don't think Tennessee probably kept it. That probably went right in the trash after that.
Yeah. Once he left, they take this with you.
Yeah, have fun. And I don't think he's displaying it. But I think a lot of Buckeye fans will admit he played well in that game in the shoe. He was probably the one bright spot for Tennessee in that matchup. Take me through what he's looked like with UCLA. We've all seen him. I called it Jekyll and Hyde with this Bruins team. I mean, I've seen him look really good.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching them play Indiana and thinking, what is happening? This is not good at all. So what do they look like in your eyes?
Well, they don't look like the 400 yards total offense that they were for those 2 games that they were on that heater. That's kind of died down. You watched them this last game against Nebraska. It's a lot of the Nico show. Honestly, they don't really have a lot of guys on the outside that can really bother you. They got Rico. He's a pretty good wide receiver. But outside of that, you see Nico dropping back, trying to find somebody, and then just taking off. And I think the Buckeyes have faced somebody like that in DeMond Williams. So I'm not necessarily worried about Nico being able to scramble around because I think they already got a good game plan. They did a really good job against DeMond Williams, like inviting him. Look, this is open. It's wide open. Try to take this lane. And as soon as you do, boom, they jumped on it and got him down. And it was very frustrating for DeMond. I think the same thing can happen with Nico. You cannot allow him to beat you with his legs. You got to try to make him sit in that pocket and throw the ball. I don't think that they have the receivers that can create the separation enough for them to beat us consistently with Nico just throwing the ball. The only way this game could get interesting is if Nico can use his legs.
All right. I have a bold prediction for this game. I don't typically do a bold prediction. I think Ohio State's going to force 4 turnovers. I think the one thing that I've watched from UCLA is they are a team. Nico can sometimes chase. He can try to make too much happen.
He will.
Yeah.
Especially night game in the shoe.
Yeah. And
you want that.
Maybe 3. 4's a lot. 4, it's hard to get a 4.
Look, he going
3.
back on it.
I'll take 3. Maybe 3.5. That's where we'll set the line at. But I think Ohio, the one thing I've watched with this UCLA team is they do press a lot. And Ohio State loves to take advantage of teams that press. If you're trying to make something happen against this Buckeye defense, you're in a bad situation. Mm-hmm. For you, how can Ohio State make things happen against this UCLA defense? Where can they take advantage of the Bruins?
Run game. I think that the Bruins right now, if there's 18 teams in the Big Ten, the Bruins are 17th in the Big Ten when it comes to stopping the run. So that's been an area of concern for a lot of the Buckeye Nation. This is a game to get right. We're talking about the right side of the line and trying to fix that at the guard position. This is the game to find out who's that guy that can push up to that next level and spring that running back through. I think Bo Jackson and Isaiah West have done a great job of getting to that second level. This is a game to stamp it. I want to see it go all the way. Isaiah West, you got to pay attention. You could have went left on your long run and scored. I don't know why you cut back right. It bothered me. But it's there. This is just continue to build off of that. And then we know what we got with the pass and attack. I think that they rank 8th in the Big Ten when it comes to pass defense. So maybe that might be a little challenging. I know that they have some success playing man-to-man. I just don't think you could play man-to-man against Ohio State and be successful. But I would love to see us take advantage of that run.
I want to ask you, this is just a complete sidebar, because I was thinking about that Bo Jackson play. Nothing hurts more watching football than seeing a flag on a big play.
I know.
And the players don't know there's a flag.
They in there celebrating.
Yes, and you're like, oh no, they finally got the big run. And there's no world where this. You ever had that happen on a big play for you where there was a flag? Maybe they called PI on a big interception or anything?
No.
No?
No, that's a lie. Yes, I did. Yes.
Which one?
Joey Bosa did it, the Fiesta Bowl against Notre Dame. I had a pick, and Joey had targeted. I had no idea that he had targeted. I'm up there dancing, celebrating, and whatnot, and they like, yeah, you still on the field. It's a target. I'm like, what?
The other one, the worst case scenario is you take that pick and you run it all the way to the end zone.
I would have told them, get somebody else. Get somebody in here.
All right, final question for you, and we got to really start talking about this because it's here. It's snowing outside, Tyvis. That's a reminder that it's November.
Yeah.
How much are they talking about that game inside the Woody right now?
I think that you would be naive to not look at it. I think you have to sneak that in, knowing that the competition that you got UCLA this week, you got Rutgers next week. You should win that game with flying colors. Urban Meyer even told me that he would sneak in team up north periods without us even knowing. When you got weak competition, let's just get us a look at it, just so the players are familiar with seeing some of the stuff, and don't even have to tell them that that's what this is. Just put it in there. And when they get to that game, it's like, I've seen it before. So I think that you have to pay attention to it a little bit. You obviously want to take care of what's in front of you first. but you'd be naive not to look at some of that team up north.
So you sprinkled in with the scout team right now?
Yeah, scout team, little scout team
okay.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Don't even got to tell them. Just
Yes.
like
Hey.
2 plays a day.
Yeah.
This is a team up north play, but don't tell them that. Just go out there and let's see what you do.
Urban Meyer, pretty good football coach.
He was decent.
He has a couple rings to prove it. He is Tyvis Powell. Tyvis, next week, we're talking Rutgers. That's our last week before the game. It is crazy.
Ooh, it's time. It's almost time for war.
Hey. Oh, I like that. Oh, that got me excited.
You like that, Larry?
All right, that was good. It was delivered so well. Hey, don't forget, you can watch Tyvis and I on Game Time with Ryan Day, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., breaking down all of that Buckeye action.